Really, really serious stuff. I've talked about this before in the past. Not so much media attention, and there should be media attention to be told. Anything related to a child should have huge media attention in every direction, both from national and local radio stations. Should be literally on blast 24/7, denouncing Rodrigo Gorman, denouncing TUSLA and the Child and Family Protection Agency, and denouncing the government, because this is a disgrace. The question here is what the government have said. There's about 30 or a bit more missing children in the state that were in the care of the Child and Family Protection Agency, TUSLA, the state body that takes away children from their parents if the child's been abused or been neglected. And obviously that's understandable if there is a body like that. But it's the fact of the matter that the children can go missing in state accommodation, in the state provided care facility. They can just disappear and not be found in unregulated systems, in unregulated apartments that have no records relating to TUSLA, etc., etc. We nearly say it's trafficking, to be totally honest. And the TUSLA's no saints, just to say it straight, they're no saints. We know many times TUSLA has used their powers to shut people up, spoke out against corruption, different accusations against many things. TUSLA is no saints, so we know with Maurice McCabe too what they try to do with him. They're not going above the scummy tactics of TUSLA, and the same with the Irish state. But it's particularly shocking when you see loads of children. Anything relating to a child is very serious. And especially if they were supposed to be cared for by the state. And again, as God knows, some of these children could have come out of terrible environments and now they're missing. God only knows, they could be in another country, they could be somewhere. Who knows? And the fact of the matter that nobody seems to really care. And Rodrigo Gorman doesn't seem to care. They're more worried about white privilege than children going missing. Regardless of who it is or what child that's gone missing, there should be every effort in the state, both from An Garda Síochána O'Connor and both from TUSLA and both from the whole state alone and from the general public, to try and find these children as quick as possible and to make sure it doesn't happen again, because it's happening every day of the week. Children will go missing, etc., etc. And to be totally honest, it sounds like nearly human trafficking. I don't have any evidence of this, but it literally does, because there's no records saying where this child's gone, etc., etc. And it reflects badly on everybody in the country that we allowed this to happen, that people are just sitting back and saying nothing and everything's fine. It's not acceptable. It shouldn't be acceptable. Whoever's over TUSLA, Rodrigo Gorman should be gone. He should be sacked, because this is unacceptable. Especially because it's not just one child, it's in the dozens, what we know of. Because again, they won't tell you. The Irish government's like Fort fucking Knox. They won't tell you specifically. They say it's a number of children. They won't tell you the specific number. It says 30 or 50 from the last time I looked. It could be in the 200s, could be 300, for all we know. Because again, you couldn't trust the Irish government and what they tell you. Because let's be fair, why would they tell the people of Ireland, 200 children's gone missing under our care? We're doing a good job. But you think they're going to, no reasonable government would go out and shoot themselves in the foot and provoke public anger. And again, the national media, they are protecting them. They won't say anything. We have a few articles here and there, but again, there's no much public pressure. There should be outrage, to be totally honest, on this. But it's the fact of the matter we see nowadays in the Irish state, that this is the common practice. And there's not enough engagement with the community. There's not enough discussion about these, reasonable discussions. The media are too focused on Donald Trump and the far right, etc., etc. But they're not worried about children going missing, which is, as I say, regardless, even though a child was kidnapped by an only individual, etc., etc., it's a serious thing when a child goes missing. And missing from a parent, especially, and again, as I say, from a state accommodation that's supposed to be protecting the children that are coming out of very difficult circumstances, some of these children. And again, some incidents might be just because they don't like the parents too, so what they kind of fuck them over, to be totally honest, because that's what TUSLA really is, to be totally honest. They shouldn't, to be totally honest, what I'm trying to say is Roger Gorman should be in prison for this and for negligence. The person over TUSLA should be sacked, is put in prison, because to be totally honest, it justifies prison sentence in this regard. It justifies it for a few years to be locked up, because again, this is negligence at the highest level, to allow this to continue. And especially because it's not just an isolating incident. I wouldn't mind if it was one a year, even though it shouldn't be in a modern first world country. It shouldn't be. But if it was one a year, you could say, yeah, fair enough. But it's the fact of the matter, it keeps every year there seems to be children going missing, and it's not acceptable. I have a big department, etc., Rodrigo Gorman's excuse. It doesn't matter if he has 5 people working for him. He should make sure that everything's up to standard, that the whole procedures are being followed, that the children can be found if they look for, if the parents or whoever looks for them, they should be able to be found within 5 seconds. It's different if it was years ago where there was no computers and things like that. They should have where the children are, etc., etc. There shouldn't be a big fucking hullabaloo over it. And children going missing. It's the modern age. It's not back in the 1960s or the 1980s where there was no technology. And it's the fact of the matter, the state doesn't seem to want to engage with people, to tell them where these children are. And again, the Irish state is nearly worse than North Korea at this stage, to be totally honest. I don't even think North Korea would be this bad. But it is serious, and we do have to address, and we do have that public anger over it. And especially the local TDs and local senators, etc., because you need to kind of give them a good ear and a good shouting to really make them listen and stand up and listen. Because again, at the end of the day, they're hiding away in their offices, hiding here or hiding there. They won't come out and talk. Roderick Ogumi couldn't find them for love of money to answer questions. He won't answer any questions on it. And OT are nowhere to be found because they're just asking about talking shite if it's up and house. But they're not worried about the real issues. That's the thing, OT. And that's why there's loads of no trust in the media in Ireland, because where is OT? You'd think OT be 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If they were independent and reasonable broadcast, you'd think they'd be denouncing the Roderick government, denouncing the government 24 hours. Where are these children? So keep asking that question. Where are the children? Tell us. But it's the fact that there's just silence. You hear grip media, you hear maybe the Irish Examiner every once in a while put out a story. But apart from that, it's just deafening silence. And that's not acceptable.